Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Pippins and I'm an illustrator, author, and designer. I call myself a visual activist, which to me is a way of using my creative skills to serve, to talk about issues that are important to me, to talk about things that are happening in the world that I think people should know about. One of my visual heroes is the visual activist sister Corita Kent. The way that she uses color, the way that she plays with scale, the way that she overlaps different ideas and uses texture and shape. It is phenomenal. And of course, her desire to share her ideas through her art as a way to inspire and empower other people. So to me, she is one of the ultimate visual activists. She talks about joy, she talks about love, she talks about social justice issues, and I just think that her work is so inspiring. So I am honored to have the opportunity to talk about one of her theories and one of her practices in thinking about, how we create. And that is the term plork. So the idea of play and work coming together as a way of getting unstuck, or as a way of, really being inspired by, what we're doing or what we're seeing. So how do I plork? I plork, so this idea of play and work coming together by experimenting with different materials. For example, if I usually use a marker or a pen to draw a silhouette, and I feel like, I want to do something different, I want to incorporate something a little bit more fresh, then maybe I'll do cut paper, or I will do watercolor or painting or something different, just to see what it looks like. And maybe, sometimes it looks terrible. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes it feels too different from the way that I want to express an idea. But what it does do is help me think about, what happened in that exercise that I can incorporate into the usual way that I draw. So maybe there was like a color accident that happened, or maybe, I like the way these varied shapes and sizes worked when I started doing the cut paper, and I can incorporate that into my drawing. Another way that I like to plork, and actually this is my favorite way, I love bringing in the copy machine. Now, I don't have a copy machine at home. I have to go to a library to do photocopies, but this is a very old school way of bringing in texture, playing with scale and layering, and it is phenomenal. So one drawing that I did some time ago, I went in and I photocopied in many different ways this drawing. So I scaled things up, I moved it on the scanner, just looked at all these variations of this drawing, and then I cut them. I cut the parts that I really liked, and then I collaged them together to make the drawing. For me, it really helped make the drawing feel a little bit more textured, and it added a little bit more depth in a way that I wouldn't have been able to do if I just drew it. One easy exercise that I can recommend in terms of employing plork into your practice is something with collage. I think collage is a really fun way to play. So, taking found paper, whether it's from a magazine or newspaper, or, just cut up envelopes or, advertisements that you might receive from in the mail, junk mail, and then, piecing together a word from found letters on those papers, or making a pattern, or making a face, and you start to see some really interesting things happen that you probably wouldn't have been able to see if you just drew it or if you were painting it. So, playing with collage in that way is a lot of fun. Or if you're doing some lettering, maybe you can take a different kind of tool to make those letters. So if you usually use a pen, maybe you take a paintbrush. Or if you usually use a paintbrush, maybe you take a marker. And then you can scan things up, blow them up, make it small. You can see how the texture changes. And I think that's always really interesting when you scale things up and it just kind of blows out the texture within that medium. So give it a try and let us know what you think.